Welcome back to another episode of Talks with Wine. I am your host, Marley.
I'm Kamaya.
I'm Tam.
And,
I don't like the way you had to scoot forward. Like,
it's because I be sliding.
you pause. Like, and.
Thank you for joining us for this lovely episode tonight. Ladies, how are your weeks? How y'all weeks been going?
It's pretty cool.
It's been.
That was a dry fall, winter, slash.
It was the coldest winter ever. That response was, I'll start. It's been cool. Oh wait, that's hers. It's been okay. She threw me off. No, it's been okay. It's been reflective. Is the best way that I can.
It's been a lot of reflections.
I was gonna say, as
2020.
things have been placed into perspective, I think things have been reaffirmed and reminded to me. So yeah, it's been a week.
A learning one for you.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it right there.
That's good. Well, my week's been pretty cool. Work and work.
I didn't bring up that part.
Well, that's the part that's driving me crazy.
Oh, okay.
But yes.
Skip past that part.
So, another lovely episode, ladies. Tonight, we will be discussing cultural conditioning.
I was always taught if you ain't got nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Is that a conditioning?
Yes. If you
Oh,
ain't
that's
got
a-
nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing.
That's a.
Don't speak your mind. Forever hold your peace.
I'm going to start off with the definition of cultural conditioning.
Based off who?
Based off of the internet.
You
I got two sites.
You can't believe everything you read.
You can't, but it was a
Cultural
credible source.
conditioning could be me deep conditioning my roots.
What it is
Technically,
with the
encompassing
culture.
I was gonna say technically you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there.
your worldview,
Mm-hmm.
the way you think, how you speak, how you act, religious beliefs, what you consider right or wrong, what you eat, how you dress, things of those sorts.
I can't.
Another way to look at cultural conditioning.
The black.
It's off the shoulder cultural.
Wearing all black is cultural.
It is.
We're
There's
just
something
dark
about,
and
something about the color black.
Can I just pause? When I met Marley, I wore black all the time, and she kept nagging me to get color in your life. You need color, you need to braid it up. Because I wore black all the time.
Like, all the time.
And now, like Wednesday.
Like, we wear black on Wednesday.
Like
Thursday,
Wednesday,
Friday.
like Wednesday Addams. Like I literally was like, in black. Like, but yeah, I'm out here.
See, I wear
Grateful.
I wear a lot of black, no neutral colors, just because.
What makes you feel,
Black makes me feel like it depends on what kind of black it is, and it depends on what article.
You got blue black, you got like.
You know what I'm
deep
saying?
purple
All black. You got black. You know.
You got jet black.
You know what I'm saying? You got faded black, ashy black.
You got the one
black.
one black.
One B. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
That's the jet black.
We're not talking about
No, you don't have to be.
So let's
You don't have to be like
Well, I'm
this.
just-
But another way to look at cultural conditioning is it is a social process in which authoritative figures, your parents, professors, politicians, religious leaders, peers, and the media defines our cultural values, beliefs, ethical systems, and ultimately the way we perceive ourselves in the world.
Well, I just thought about something. This is your first definition. Black is cultural conditioning in certain cultures. Cape Verdeans, when there's a death in the family, you wear black for an entire year. Wow. An entire year.
Hmm.
Now, that I did not know. That
I knew to wear it for 7 days.
I've never heard that either.
No, like if it's
I think it's
if it's like someone,
immediate
yeah, if
family.
it's close family, you wear black for 7 days.
Well-
In Cape Verdeans, they wear it for an entire year.
I can honestly say I
That's
never
that Lisa
followed
Ray
that.
status in reverse.
Right. No, I've never followed that. I've not been to many funerals, but for the people that were like important to me or the funerals that I have been
You
to,
don't wear red.
I've never worn black. I've always worn like a color that they like me in.
Oh, well, that's
Like something uplifting because I feel like, well, that's a whole different topic, but
I get what you're saying. Cultural conditioning.
about my views on death,
You
yeah,
don't
and about
wear
how
red to funerals. Certain
Mhm.
cultures you can't wear red.
Mm,
It's disrespectful to the dead. Like,
is it too
So-
loud?
no.
I'm sorry.
Especially people I heard that don't wear
Yeah.
red. It's Haitians, they don't
Or
wear
women.
red. It's
Oh.
like, it's disrespectful.
I wore a lime green. What's that mean?
You want that money?
What?
No, I don't know why we did. Okay, but knowing the things that we know from the definitions, what are some things that we may have been conditioned to do, eat, believe, etc.?
Well,
like what are
definitely
some-
the funeral things we just mentioned. Definitely how I speak and view my elders, like
Mhm.
how I even like I know some people that get into like crazy blowout like blows with their parents. And I was raised to like
Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
never to cross that line. But as I got older, I understood that, you know, yes, you carried me and, you know, you got me here and all. It doesn't give you right to just be all like
I'm
you're still
at
a
the end of the day, I'm
person,
still
and
an
so am
adult.
I. Yeah, like, you know, so I definitely. But talking to how I talk to elders, like subconsciously, my cousin brought this up to me like some years back, and we talked about it. Subconsciously, moving out of the way for white people on the sidewalk.
I never noticed.
If you
I was
if you
told
really think about how when you're
men.
walking, you just like, you know, kind of like it's, and I think it's just because we're just used to being like, oh, just, you know, go on ahead, like, you know. But subconsciously, I think that's like a conditioning of slavery and having been inferior, or having been put last, or told to move out of the way, and someone, you know, like those
See,
type of things. I experienced that
and-
with an Asian woman too, and she thought that.
See, I was taught to, I was taught to move out of the way when you see like elder people.
Yeah.
And
But I see like my southern family, like I see like my grandmother will move out of the way for a white woman. But I think that that's because she's, you know, older down south. She grew up, you know what I mean,
Right.
witnessing.
Yeah.
But and even obviously even still, but and it won't be. It's not on some like, you know, bowing, but like she just out of conditioning, out of habit, she will just move out of the way. And I just be like, now I just be like, well, no, I'm on the sidewalk, and
if I'm in your way, you move to the side.
you,
Right,
you,
like,
you move.
I'm gonna keep walking.
Right, you move.
That's actually something that I read about while I was in college. I think it was like my senior year of college, and it was like a case study that I read about how we move out of the way for white men, because white men hold so much superiority in this world. But that was a
He started engineer shook his head and said no.
I
He said no.
When you look back,
You
you
said-
we know.
I
We
was
know.
I just had to look.
Our
you know?
engineers are shit. He said, "I'm not in this.
He said,
I don't-
this ain't got nothing to
He
do
said, not
with
this
me.
white man."
I ain't white.
That is
Dimitri, guys.
it. Shout out to
Shout,
the
yo,
plug.
shout out, like.
Y'all could come take notes from this.
No, he's been putting up with us for a long time. But 3 black women are not. It's not, and he does with grace, and he don't even pay us no mind.
My boyfriend don't want to put up with me half the
He
time.
has given me some of the best one-liners. You have a face for radio. That's still.
that was in the beginning. We weren't even
I'm
like
still holding on to that. I'm just waiting.
He
for-
said, I want to let you hold
He was like, I'm just gonna
waiting
establish
to pass
now.
that one on to someone else so I could come back and tell him that I was able to successfully deliver the line.
He politely said to us, I want you hoes to know that I'm not calling you a hoe because you black. I'm calling you a hoe because you a hoe.
That's it.
Shout out to
He
Dimitri.
did not say that.
But I feel like he would.
Said.
No, Dimitri's cool. He's cool. He's
But
cool.
you,
I know there's a lot of things, like I don't know about moving out of the way for white people, but I know a lot of people I went to school with, a lot of, like, and when I mean school, I mean college, you know, grad school. When we get around certain groups, we code switch and we tend to speak proper. Anyone who knows me knows. I was gonna say you gonna get what you gonna get.
Right, this
like,
is-
you listen.
This is it.
I'm gonna say that bitch right over there pronunciate
I may
everything.
do customer service voice, but honestly, I don't care who's calling me. That's just because that's just my.
It's customer service
That's
voice,
just my
like,
customer service voice.
But that's
like,
and that's another thing.
and I mean that technically is, but it's just me with A little cherry on top.
Yeah, and
Not everybody.
No.
I heard some voices.
No,
I work in a call center. Let me tell you, there is some people that have no proof, and they just hello.
but
Is this your house phone? Why would you answer like that? Okay, well we don't have it. Like,
But-
oh no.
it's cultural condition. I say like because like for instance, if you're around older African American black people, you're like, yes ma'am, or yes ma, yes auntie, yes grandma. You see older white women, you say yes miss, yes ma'am, yes. And I say that to say
Yes.
because we call anybody grandma, mima, ma, aunt,
mima.
sis. I'm just saying, I'm seeing, no, Mima's black too. I'm saying just in general, you know, you'd say that like, if I see Marley's mom, I'm like, hi mom.
Of course.
But if I see someone else's mom,
Well,
I'm
not for
like,
nothing.
but I'm just talking about randomly. Like, if me and Marley weren't friends, just okay. If I saw your best friend's mom, I'd be like, oh, hey,
No, of
mom.
course. But I that's because we're
And that's what I'm saying. We keep it different. Like, we don't say that when we see white people parents. We just be like, oh, hey,
black women.
miss.
Hi, Mrs.
Or miss.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you get what I mean? It's the way we talk and the way we direct
No,
things.
that's true. That's true.
It's different. And it could be just
That's
because
true.
of relation. Like, you know, they can't relate to our slang and our lingo.
That's true. I think
Right.
also how we eat.
I don't want raisins in my salad. Potato salad, that is.
Any
So you want?
I don't.
Okay, I got nervous for a second.
I
Like,
don't.
this.
I don't.
I was really about to be like,
I don't eat green bean casserole. I don't.
what is that?
It's
Like, I
green
know what
beans
it
with
is.
crumbs on top, I think.
Oh, with the French's onion.
And cream of mushroom. And
I'm not gonna lie, my mom has made that before. I actually
oh,
don't
well,
think it
God
was
bless
bad.
her heart, because
It's
I don't
just-
want
Mommy,
I don't want your version of jerk chicken either, because I don't want pulled chicken
okay, so what's the
another
Oh.
tangent.
version of
That was the
cultural
tangent, sorry.
conditioning that I think a lot of people tend to forget is entertainment, right? I think
Oh.
someone had pointed
Hmm.
out about a few weeks ago.
About a week ago.
I thought that was cultural conditioning. Us referencing.
A few weeks ago, where the young lady had been twerking in the restaurant, Salt Bay's new Boston restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's not that, this is no shade to her, it's not that we need to see you twerking in
I'm
a
about to say, please
restaurant.
put this together.
It's
But I'm
not
trying to figure
that.
out where you're going with this.
I think the point that the person had made, whose comment that I was following, was just that we tend to forget so much about who we are and where we come from that we just do whatever in the presence of certain people.
So I'm sorry. I
I
have
feel
an
like-
interjection because
I was gonna
why
say-
can't I'm not? Why do I have to forget where I'm coming from to be twerking on the table at a restaurant?
Well, you know what?
Because that's the thing. We don't know anything about her upbringing. We don't.
You know, whoever that is that was with her was not
was
with
not
that.
what? Her boyfriend?
No,
her
wait.
boyfriend?
Well, wait. Quick.
May not have been.
I was gonna say, yeah. Quick tidbit. The whole video actually shows him going to the other girl, not the girl who was twerking. If you saw the whole video, yeah, me and my girls like speculating about that. But he actually goes over to the girls that were cheering him on and recording, which is not to say that it wasn't a boyfriend.
Right,
but maybe he
right.
was like, "Your friends are cool." Like, maybe
But I just
but-
want to know how does because I've seen.
Well, because I think so. The point that was made in the series of comments was just the fact that as women, as black women, some of us tend to, and I hate to say it that way, but some of us tend to be for entertainment purposes. And we see that in this modern day of Instagram, of social media. So it's like, it's not that I don't have anything to offer, but this is what sells, and this is what's going to get me there, right?
See, and I don't.
So I think that is a cultural condition, because when you go back to slavery and when we were being auctioned off as women, we were for entertainment purposes. So
But I feel like we're speaking about a very, like, a
specific.
specific group. Because if we look
Because
at
let's
us speaking
think
of
about-
a micro number and not the macro, remember, black women, there's a bunch of us. And I feel like when we speak on social media, we forget that the women who parade and do those things on social media, they are a very small percentage of black women.
but it doesn't matter,
because
because
I was
at
about
the
to
end
say,
of the day,
real-
media, when
it
we talk
does
about
matter.
cultural conditioning and how it defines our culture and how it perceives us, that is a very, very productive point, because it's like, if we are being influenced by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion.
See, and that's what I wanted to stop. Not everyone, this is the thing that gets me with social media. Not everyone is influenced by
it. Doesn't
women.
matter. It's not.
It does
everyone
matter.
being influenced.
Well,
it's that it is
this.
been
It's not that
influenced.
that's not true. It is true that not everyone is being influenced by that. I think you're more represented, because I don't agree that that's not true. But I think it's just that not everyone is being represented by that. You're right. However, when we think about what microscope is being shown, and when we think about culturally and what they tie it to, it is that. It's not that we all do it. Of course not. Because for me, I'm in the conditioning. I'm in the cultural conditioning of what would my mother say? Because my mother was always like, you better not be out there embarrassing me. So I don't care how old I am. Even I don't like I twerk a little. You know what I'm saying? My mom knows that I would like dance and joke and stuff like that. But there's a level. So in regards to cultural,
at a time, those
and so in regards to cultural conditioning, like there are obviously different merits of who does what, but it is to counter that. It is a thing of, okay, well, this is where they place us in the microscope, but it is like it's almost like there's two spectrums. It's either you're this form of entertainment where they associate you with culturally, or you're a strong black leading woman, or you're other.
And I was gonna say, I hope I can articulate this correctly, because just because black women, we tend to be loud, we like to sing, we like to party and do that when we like to have a good time when we are amongst our friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I want us to stop worrying about how others are perceiving us, because
of course. But that's a different topic of
those same groups. Like when I think about y'all know I watch reality TV, and when I think about the Jersey Shores, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, like they're known for drinking and doing drugs and doing all of that stuff.
But technically, that's their cultural conditioning, though.
And that's the thing.
It may not be, but that's what.
So look how we just said it. It may not be. That's not our cultural conditioning. And
I
that's
said that though. That's what I said.
I
said it's not. I already said that it's not. It's not necessarily our cultural. It may be for some.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about what the scope is and where they place us and certain things, that is a highlighted cultural conditioning. It may not be for you, because obviously you don't do that in that degree, or you may not get that extreme with it, but that is the scope of it. It's not to take away from also culture and conditioning for the women that are strong, leading in.
I'm not saying that. You know me, I'm a Caribbean woman. I like dancing. I dance wherever I hear the music. But
and that's your culture.
No, I was gonna say I dance to anything because I like the way music sounds. I know other women in my culture who don't do that when they go out. You get what I mean? So I don't want to say we're basing that heavily off of our.
But here's what I want us to think, right?
Dance and rhythm.
On a grand
No, dancing and rhythm and music and drum, like those are associated with our culture. So in the scheme of us always feeling the urge to dance, always, yes, music, because that's us.
Right.
It belongs to us.
When we think of on a grand scheme, we think of culture and we think of the things that are being passed down to us.
Yeah.
Of course, music is something that is passed. That's why I brought up entertainment, because music is heavily indebted in our heritage as African American people.
Yeah.
That is how we worship. That is how we give. That is how we celebrate. And to know that is something that your ancestral traits have still embedded in you is because that is still a part of your culture. So we have to think of lineage and things of those sorts that break down your cultures that separate you. Yeah. But on the grand scheme, it's still it's one big thing of how another nation has come to wash down and dilute many things that we know to believe, know to practice and worship, because even the story of Jesus Christ is something that was taken from Egyptian culture.
What was your next question?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because if we're talking about cultural conditioning, Africans, they dance for show in front of everybody because You get what I
culturally.
mean?
But
So that means
there's
us.
purpose and intention with their
Yes.
dances.
So what was Homegirl's purpose and intention? She was having fun. She was having a good time.
But I'm not disagreeing with that.
No,
but it still
that's what I'm
comes. It's still a part of.
I don't know. It came off as we're looking at it in a negative light, and
No.
I'm
I'm-
looking at it in a sense of she.
Well, I didn't
whatever.
see
What
that.
I don't know her. Whatever
Yeah.
the purpose that she had, whatever intention she had for doing that. But you have to think about it. Now that's on the internet and it's gone viral. And not only has the restaurant shut down due to what was happening in the restaurant,
And
aside
even-
from other things,
And
it's
it
just
only
now.
matters because it was her. If Elizabeth was doing it, I'm pretty sure.
Right. It
I'm
would
pretty
probably
sure-
it probably wouldn't go viral
No, I'm
because
pretty sure Jacob wouldn't came flying through the door like that.
and she probably ain't had no rhythm anyway. But
Some
what
of
I'm
them are-
saying is just that then it gets perceived as, oh sis, you're acting out because of the people that you were around.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't matter how you feel
So
about
there
what
is-
people feel
I
about
was
you.
gonna say that's what sums up. Maybe that's where I was missing it. I'm tired of our people looking at, oh, you're making us look bad. Stop.
Right.
Yeah. That's what
So
that's what I was
that's
saying. Like in
where-
the
'cause I'm
scope of how they place it. It's like in a scope of it's amongst us. Some of us may be like, girl, you know you shouldn't have been doing that in a restaurant.
Right.
Some of us are like, yeah, girl,
Girl,
like
leave
Salt
me
Bay's
alone.
restaurant, like you went viral, girl, like high five. But overall, collectively,
You have to know you're now placed on under a microscope and
Yeah.
whatever
overall
counteract,
collectively
you know?
and culturally they're gonna be like, oh yeah, because black people, that's what black people do. It's like it's not that yes, like you can see us and we're allowed to do it. Some of us will be like, you know, girl, like, and other of us will be like, but either way, it's associated that culturally we gonna dance somewhere,
Right.
and then within our culture, it's gonna be like, girl, and then it's
Yeah.
gonna be like, ain't no problem with that.
Right.
and it's not shunning her. Like,
No.
yo, if you was having a great time, you was having a great time.
Because culturally, that's what we do. Because that's why they want to come to
No,
the cookout.
it's like 'cause I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought Marley was about to hit us with a she shouldn't have been in there doing that. And
She can do whatever she wants.
I really thought that's where it was going.
the only
I was
thing
like,
that's
wait.
That's not what we're here for.
I was gonna say like,
And because honestly, my opinion on what that girl was doing doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't matter. But it's just we're just talking about it on a scope of how we
She
are
acted
viewed
and how-
culturally and
yeah.
how it's going to be associated back to that's what black people do. And it's like, okay, that's how you perceive it, but I know as a black person.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't.
I mean,
Like,
I
it's
do what the
like-
fuck I want to do,
It's
but
like that meme that was saying, you know, if you can't handle the fact that we like to blast music in the summer, you know, and have cookouts and block parties, then don't move into our neighborhoods. So it is
What's the
just
next
it is
question?
just that.
What's
It
the
is our culture. You can't take it from
What?
us.
the next.
The next question. So since slavery
Take it back.
first destruction
Take it back.
of our culture, what similar characteristics do we notice still being passed down?
Grits. No sir.
I love it.
No, you know.
Shrimp and
Yo,
grits.
do you know how many people have been like, that's a slave food? I'm like, yo,
I eat them
it,
all the time.
it's a
I
food.
love grits.
It's a food. I know people are gonna be like, actually, the reason why we say that is because that was what we were left with once we served it.
cool.
And I know.
We took it, flipped it, and reversed it. Now it's delicious.
I eat grits all the time. I eat grits with chicken. I eat grits with pork. I eat grits with shrimp. I eat grits with bacon. I eat grits with eggs. I love grits. I ate grits all through my pregnancy.
Definitely what I opened up with about the subconsciously moving further.
Mhm.
That I think, or even little things like, or like us,
Downplaying our education.
yeah,
That's right,
or
people.
you know what I'm saying, like us trying to fit a mold of being like token.
And I was gonna say, I don't even think that's towards white people. I think we downplay our education to other races a lot
Because we
we're
used to.
afraid. Yeah,
For them to know.
that we were so intelligent. You're afraid to.
I
just,
say were because I have to speak,
Now.
I have to speak forward because
Mhm.
I've never
a
been in
lot.
that place because my parents were always like,
I was the nerd.
yeah, and it was like, be proud of that, like be very proud to.
I may not articulate my words well, but listen, there's
And
a
you-
lot of knowledge right up here. So
Yeah, like no, and be proud of that. But I definitely education. I think is a big thing. Like
you don't want to be. It's like I feel like the only thing we were like cultural conditioning. We were conditioned to feel like we needed to be good at was sports. oh, that's all black people know how to do.
I think so too. I absolutely agree with that.
That's a part of the entertainment thing.
Absolutely, yeah. I
And then we're
absolutely
being
agree with
auctioned off for that.
Yeah, because we were bigger, better, faster.
Mm-hmm.
But we really are. But that's not our fault. That's
I think
should have got some sound. All that sound made it so powerful. Should have got some sound.
I think
It's
the other thing that I realized this year was the whole sundown town thing. And
Where'd you go when you realized it?
it's not even
Western
where
Mass?
I went. It's not even
Because
where
it's some
I went.
places.
Because I lived in North Carolina for a bit. So I know about, you know,
Thanks.
the real racism, okay? But
Yeah, because the South is different.
I ain't never seen a Trump billboard and a Trump merchandise store ever in my life until this year.
Really?
And it was just it gave me like an eerie feeling.
And gives you that like there are places in Western Mass that my cousin and I have like not got lost, but like, you know, we're like, oh, let's just see where this takes us. You know, we're using GPS, it goes out or whatever. And you drive through these towns that you're just like, I know somebody got, like, you would chase me in a truck with a shotgun. I really feel like it's 2020,
Yeah.
and I get that, like, I get that feeling like,
But
no, we gotta get out of here. Like,
My first time in Mass was I went to Salisbury. I went to the beach. And as soon as you enter, it's that big old billboard, right?
Billboard.
And then you see, you know, the posters and stuff in the people's house, and you're like,
no, that mean that. Don't play.
I don't know if I want to be here.
I went to Wingashi Beach, I think it was, and what? I can't even begin to. I don't even know. It's far out. But Wingashi, I think is what it's called. And I went with my cousin and I. We drove there, and it's kind of one of those things where it's technically a private. It's not private, but for parking purposes and for community purposes, if you don't live, it's a small community. So if you don't live there, it's a town where everybody knows each other. Hey, Nina. So when you go to the beach, you know, they letting all the locals in. You're outside, and you look like me. Oh, you have to park. Oh, the lot is full. That's crazy because you just let you just let well no not all the time, but you just let 5 other people in here that was perfectly fine. There was no issue. As soon as I come, and it says that you can pay to park here, but you still the lot is full. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
So now I have to park where? And you can't because it's all community and residential parking.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up parking like 40 towns down just to walk back, and it's and while you're walking, it's just you. And it is an eerie ass feeling because they're like, "Oh, how do you know about this? Or what are you doing?" Like it's really like, "What are you doing here?" And it's crazy. I'm saying in Massachusetts like a surprise any goddamn where, but I'm like, but you know, I'm 31 and I've lived my whole life, and I'm like, there are places that I still haven't been to or been to in Massachusetts where I'm like, damn, I probably can't come here. I don't feel, but I come with my presence because I'm like, oh, well, it's a beach, and that's earth made. You ain't gonna tell me I can't come to a beach, but it's like, damn, I ain't gonna lose my life just to enjoy some nice, you know, fresh water because I don't want to go to damn Revere or whatever the hell. I'm tired of going to Nantasket where everybody else is. Like, but do I want to lose my life for some fresh salt water? Like, because that's what it feels like. I may not, but that's what it feels like.
But I learned that this year that is relevant to how, you know, our parents used to say, you know, make sure you're home before the street lights come on.
Yeah, they mean that because they won't get your ass.
Sundown. And then you think about it, like a lot of people don't know this, but the Atlanta child murders.
Mm-hmm. And it's still happening.
But the Atlanta child murders, this is like late 70s, early 80s. It was in Atlanta, and I don't quote me on it. I think it was about 40 kids, but they went missing over the year and dead. African American kids.
And like I said,
dead, and they had like
you know, like
when the streetlights come on.
But it's a thing. That's definitely. I didn't think about that, but when I think about, you know, even
in
after
sundown towns in, you know, West Virginia, don't be driving down in the sundown towns.
And the fact that we know that they still have them is crazy.
And they're not illegal, and it's not because
Well, because you can't technically make a sundown town illegal because who made the town a sundown town? The people of the town. You get what I mean? How can you police something
I know. That's what I'm saying.
And
like,
it
you
sucks.
can't make it illegal. I agree. I know that, and it's like it's just another wild thing to add to being black and knowing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are literally like blogs and like websites that for like black people that want to travel or backpack or do whatever, and they're like, yo, you want to go backpacking across the country? Cool. Do not go here.
Avoid these places.
Yeah, like by all means, even in the damn daytime, because you might, you know what I'm saying, like.
They don't care.
Do you know, this is such a tidbit, do you guys know they're reopening that case with the woman who spent the night with her?
Her girlfriend?
Yes.
They reopened it. They need them.
Yeah.
They needed to.
And there's another one that recently happened this year with a man. I don't remember his name, but listen.
Well, sure, less than, a week ago, they found a man hanging in Florida?
A kid, not even a man. A kid.
20-year-old kid?
Yeah, 20-year-old hung himself and they called it suicide.
Right.
And the mother said she's not going for it. She
No.
wants all the information and the details. And
Damian.
I agree because he was hung from a tree.
I never, when they're like,
If you live in Orlando, you know like how deep.
Florida as a damn hole, and it's such.
Well, I give Orlando a little graces because it's a little more up north.
You
so
said
they-
racist or racist?
Grace.
I'm just being stupid.
I give Orlando a little more grace because it's further up.
It's
So their trees are probably a little bigger, but I still cannot see anyone
not bigger. All right,
climbing a tree.
What's the next?
You can't climb a palm tree and hang yourself successfully.
Baby,
Like I'm gonna let y'all know he didn't do that himself.
girl,
And his jaw was broken. How he broke his jaw?
a few
before?
things were.
I mean,
okay.
let's go.
All right.
But how do we break some of the unhealthy traits that we have inherited?
I think we're like a
think
few
we're
of
doing
our
that.
I was gonna say like a few of our other episodes where we kind of talked about that. I think we're doing that because I think what we're doing is being unapologetic about being ourselves, and that's really how.
And I was gonna say
that's
we have a
really
lot
how
of
you-
people like me who you don't even gotta finish your statement, but as soon as someone hears, "Oh, y'all shouldn't be," what shouldn't I be doing? Living my life?
Minding my business.
enjoying myself.
Because Ashley and Sarah, they're out here snorting whatever they want to snort and drinking their beer walking down the street. Why can't I jiggle a little meat? Like
How do we break some of the unhealthy traits?
like I said, telling you to mind your business. That's how you break that trait.
You know what? And I agree with you because if you ever sat with my mom and asked her about my 11th grade teacher that asked me what I was doing, and I said, "Why don't you mind your business?" And she was a white woman, and she really should have because I was on a free block, and she really should have been minding her business.
Because it's like I feel like when you start putting I know we're talking about African Americans, but when you start putting girls as a whole, women as a whole in a box and telling them, "Oh, you want to look good in this light, you want to look good in that light, you want to look good," that's how you start that conditioning and telling them, "Oh, don't speak, don't tell no one how you feel." Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't wear this. Don't wear that. You want to be seen as this. And you're training young women to not openly be free about themselves.
Right.
Megan Thee Stallion is a college student who happens to rap and shake her ass.
I know.
What is
someone
wrong with that?
who happens to rap and shake their ass?
What is wrong with that?
Not
And
on
it's
the
just like-
global scale like her, but I know, you know.
But,
what I'm
and that's the
saying?
thing, it's just like,
I was a.
there are
student.
She said.
She too once was.
I too.
it's just like this whole having to be prim and prep and polished.
Yeah.
So you're not labeled a certain thing or you're not perceived a certain way has to stop.
I think
Because
we're
Jim
doing
is going to
it.
go drink with
Yeah.
his boys and get pissy drunk and then going to work the next day and they're going to be like, "Oh, Jimmy boy, that was such a good time."
And if I came in and was like, "Oh my God, you got so crazy, girl."
And then, sorry,
I'm sorry,
gonna
I didn't hold you
But-
over the toilet.
I'm going to...
I want to pull your hair back. I was good. I drove us
And then
home.
look at how it trickles down, because Sarah has to say that to you, because the guys are gonna say, "Yo, you know Sarah got wasted again. You know, she's just so sloppy. I can't bring her home to mom. She, just trash, just white trash. You get what I mean? So
Okay. Anyway,
it's a trickle down effect. I want us to leave women alone. Like I'm not even. focusing on the grand scheme. Leave women alone and let them live their lives.
Okay, well, to reel it back in, I think that we are already,
Mind your business, and you ain't got you break. That's how you break it.
as a whole, Kamai feels to mind your business, but to reconnect it, I think that, like, culturally, I think we're doing it generationally. I think that we are seeing things for what they are, just like I said, like other episodes we talked about. I think we are seeing things for what they are. We're trying to connect with. We're trying to, because we are the middle barrier between us, the new generation, and the old generation, per se. And we're trying to help them get hip, and they're helping us. And honestly, it's kind of like combining together for what we can do. Like, the three of us are working together to try to figure out, like, you know, like, oh, okay, you used to do it like this back in the day, well, I do it like this. And it kind of coincides, like, or we can kind of jive together in
the
this.
generation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can kind of
ancestor. This is the middle ground, and I'm the
rebellious.
The rebellious one coming up.
You
Like,
are our future, our past, and you present.
our future. Yeah, come on.
Wait, how many keys you get?
But I'm just,
No, I'm just kidding. But
generally speaking, this is what it would look like. You know, do like
Okay.
step by step.
I don't think this is past.
Ma'am.
No, but yeah, like I do agree. I feel like that's how we're bringing. I think we're just we're starting conversations. We're putting things on the forefront. We're demanding things. We're breaking.
Challenge.
Yeah, and we're doing things for the first time. We're first, you know, Black women in Congress, you know, on politicians.
teaching people that Black women don't have to be married in order to be successful.
We're Black people, period, doing these things on a first time scale. You know what I'm saying? And we're putting our foot out there, and we're keeping it there. Like, there's no door that's like, nah. We're refusing to get swept under the rug. We're taking initiative. We're doing things. We're helping each other. We're turning around and being like, I'm not going to leave you.
Pick yourself up.
Yeah, get up. And let's go. And I think
Work
that
on the way to the car.
you know what I'm saying, right? Like, if that's what you want to do, if you want to be that friend, and we're accepting each other, and we're not
that's what I want us
put
to
each
do.
other down. We're just like, we're like, yo,
everybody.
if you're gonna twerk all the way to the car, can you do it a little faster? Right cheek, left cheek, let's go.
And that's all it is.
But we're going, you know, collectively we're going, and we're doing this. You know, we're starting things, we're doing things, we're making initiative, we're being loud and boisterous, but not like, you know, not even ignorantly loud, but like, you know, we're
letting you know that we are here and we are more.
Yeah.
I am here and I
this
am
is
more.
I think what we are also realizing that this is.
And what Solange said, this shit is for us.
That is what I was about to say. But this
Solange
shit is for us.
is
The whole wide world. She was on the cover of Bazaar.
Yes, I was gonna say Solange is the epitome of breaking. I'm gonna give you this good music. I'm artistic. I'm gonna shake my ass. I'm gonna drink my beer. I'm going to do what I want to do.
I'm going to be country. Yes,
and
ride a horse. Yo, like
I'm gonna cuss you out and beat you up in the
and
elevator.
40-inch weave, and then I'm gonna take out my afro, and then I'm gonna do this, and I'm going.
And I want you to know I can do it all, and all is in me.
Rays and the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just, you know,
the Niecy Nashes of the world.
All the women taking over.
All the Black men taking over.
All of them.
You know, doing their thing.
Kill them, like, you know, we out here investing into our financial future.
What's up?
We don't have to call them out like
Okay,
this.
okay, that's
Anyways, do you think that Black people have a mistrust and an innate feeling of how we perceive white people?
Yes.
Yes.
Next question.
Yes.
That's
no
not even-
elaboration. Yes.
No, yes.
Yes.
You know that.
What are we gonna elaborate on?
What was your second question? Would you say slavery did what now? Here, there's another
You
answer
said,
here.
what did you say last week about white people in slavery?
I'm not talking about last
What did you say next week about
Look
white
on your
people
card.
in slavery?
She said
What are you gonna say next week about white people in
She
slavery?
said slavery being the first destruction
You
of
said
culture.
you
What?
You saw his Shrewsbury mask and you saw what?
Salisbury.
Salisbury
Okay.
State.
So
That's how
you-
you know.
You said what conditioning have we?
That. We don't need. What
And
you
I
wanna
never-
explain? Go ahead.
I never knew that every Black person felt this way. Wait.
Because
No, you know what?
Because we don't
For
think about it.
example, what's the other young man that was just killed? But he was all on his Facebook, and this is no disrespect to the dead. This is just an example of
But I'm gonna explain that to you perfectly. There's two types of black
He was referring
There's two
to.
types of black people.
There's many of black people. I'm not even going. We're not going there. But he was a person, and he's not. And let me be clear.
He's
about
not.
that. He was not wrong for how he felt because he did not experience those things. So so for him, I am going to vocalize and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with the police. You guys just need to do what you need to do. Blah 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 blah. But when he came down to trying to do a good deed and was still slain in the streets by the same people that he was accrediting.
Now we've been telling him.
When I say there's two types of black people, well, there are three types. You have the
There's damn 45.
No, right now at this moment,
For this
based on this example right here, you have your African American black people who are the white man ain't doing no wrong. They're good. They're your brothers. They're your sisters. Live them.
You have Uncle Ruckus.
You have the ones in the middle who like there are some who may do you wrong. There are some who may do you right.
You have
Keep
me.
your eyes open.
You have me.
And then you have Marley. All of y'all can burn.
Wait, no. Put her back. Put her back.
I just
We're gonna cut that part out.
no. It was not Marley. I just said that to wake her up. I said that to wake her up. Because last week, what Marley said, get your gun license because we got a cap hole.
Yes,
Okay.
but still, I think when I ask about
I'm sorry.
it being,
No.
But the reason
And
we
then
still
they
Damn, we still don't got
it's for the fact that, do you know that my mom tells a story about how in Haiti, I was afraid of this white man. And that is what she used to threaten me with in order to follow her orders. And I was a baby,
now tell
a
me.
toddler.
So how would I just said different from what her mama's story is?
What's that?
Because you did all you did was prove me right.
No, but like I didn't know that it was an innate feeling. I feel like it is something that, because we have two types of black people, those who are not as concerned with the law and how it affects them, right? And then we have the people who
just
know.
don't feel, you know.
They can't get touched. I've been told by
So that's what I mean. But like to know that that is something that, even as crazy as being 2-3 years old and knowing that that is something that you can.
And can I tell you why it sucks? Because it's like I've heard a few Caucasians come to me and be like, "Oh, well, I know the police would probably do something to you. Like, I know it's a problem."
See, and this sucks because I feel like I've had some that just got around to being like, you know something? I did not know
But
that
wait,
shit.
but if you take it to certain black people, some black people be like, "Well, if you stay out of their way, you won't get touched." And it's just like,
and I feel like that's 50-50 because they be like, when I say that, they just mean like that's just, you don't bother them, they won't bother you. And then some of them are just like, no,
No,
you just
stay-
stay away.
the eyes open. So you got the eyes open
Uncle
ones.
Ruckus.
Yeah, you got the ones whose eyes are open, and then you got the ones who are like, "Well, if you wasn't there in the first place, you wouldn't have got in trouble." Like, would you say back to the? And it should never be a "What did you say back?"
It should never be a "What did you do back?"
It should
Like,
never be.
Let it be.
But it.
But okay. My final
What was his
question.
name? The one who your mom used to.
He's probably long gone. She's so aggy. No, but that's the fact that my mom would say that and just be like,
Because he
I've always
probably
been.
wasn't a normal looking man. Period. He probably was old.
probably-
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
She
And
probably
maybe
was
there's
just
worse things, worse things that I could have been afraid of. Okay.
Marley said, where is your complexion?
And I was fresh as a child, so I don't know. But
You already knew that.
my final question.
Please,
So-
ma'am, because this one got
This episode is a little.
peaks and valleys and highs and lows and.
If you've ever lived in a different state, how was the cultural experience there? Did you like it? Why or why not? I'll start.
Oh, of course.
Give y'all some time.
I'll start. Give me no time.
You gotta give me no time. The answer was nah, but I've been a lot of places and seen a lot of things.
Living in North Carolina, I visited places in the South, but living in North Carolina, it's a different experience, right? It's just a couple blocks over. I can't even say blocks. Couple acres over.
Acres is always
And I might get
like,
shot.
Yeah.
You
But
said a couple acres over. What you mean behind your back? You might get shot. Like I was gonna say, like,
But
I'm not. That's
they
not-
ready
being
to
that,
shoot.
being in, I was in an HBCU, so being that is the only place that I was allowed to stay any kind of way. I was like, I'm not gonna go find out what these white people do down here, because it was serious. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen a Confederate flag in person.
Really?
Like,
Yeah,
not in person.
I'll tell you, I used to see
Until
them in
then.
Miami all the time.
I'm about to
Just be
say,
like,
yeah. See, my dad's side of the family is like, although Caribbean, a lot of them are down south, and that's just kind of what it is.
The
I grew
experience, culturally, the experience was good, but like knowing that is still happening in the South, or
I
you
grew
could
up
be a
in
victim to that
Miami.
anytime.
I grew up in Miami where the fair-skinned Hispanics thought they were better than you. The whites thought they were better than you. It
I
was
mean,
it was open. It was open in Miami. It's
Yeah.
open in Florida.
yeah.
Oh, Florida.
And for me,
And I mean the ones that really look at you bougie like oh my god, like
yeah.
yeah.
And for me, of all the, like I said, my family down south and just traveling in general and just different experiences in different places, it's like, damn. No matter where I've gone or a certain place, you know, it almost feels like kind of the South wherever you go. Because there are places, there are people in New York that kind of look at you. Because New York is a melting pot. But you get a lot of Europeans, you get a lot of foreign people that look at you like, what are you doing here? It's like, same shit you doing here. Like, like coming here, enjoying myself, mind my business. Like, you're right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just traveling and enjoying myself. Like, but it's not that you can't, but it's you. We never, like, back to that question, we always have that innate feeling, and we always have that. Sometimes we have that weird, eerie feeling where it's like, you know, no matter what, I have to make sure that, you know, I'm looking over my shoulder, or I'm moving a certain type of way that doesn't get me picked on or chosen or selected
Listen,
or
called
eyeballed,
out.
you know what I'm saying? Right. Or like, you know, like,
You in the store and you're like, oh, I hope they don't follow me today.
you know what I mean? Like, and I'll be real honest, I think I experienced more of that when I was younger, but now that I'm older, it's definitely brolic. It's a professional brolic. It's definitely a professional, like, knuck if you buck. Like,
right, and then
it is, you know what I'm saying? It is, but yeah, that's So no, I did not like it. And why not? Because I'm black and you just need to leave me alone, like what Kamaya said. That's mind your business.
listen, the moral to the story
And a
is,
professional knuck if you buck.
the moral of the story is,
Mine is
if
that
you don't
boy.
mind your
I got arrested for that.
if you don't mind your business, you go get the nuck, and we will buck.
Baby. Hey, but that
That's
being
right.
said-
Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Talks with Wine.
Man, don't be. Ooh. 2020 has been a lot. Why you come with these
Listen,
episodes?
because as soon as the camera,
She cool, yeah, she cool.
soon as the camera
She
go
pop
off, be sure to like,
Subscribe.
Share,
comment, do it all.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
on our
Talks with
YouTube
Wine.
channel.
On all social platforms. That's Instagram. That's Facebook. That's www.talkswithwine.com
Talkswithwine.com for all events coming up.
Okay.
All right,
Have a
guys.
good night,
have a good
guys.
day.
Bye, y'all. I'm about to get some more.